Sometimes I feel like just offering a few words of support. This process can be very challenging at times, disorienting, confusing. Sometimes it just feels like a frozen block of emotion. Sometimes it feels like a blanket of confusion, depression. Other times it feels like there's so much dynamic, energetic experience occurring that we just can't make heads or tails of what's actually going on. Sometimes we have thought storms. It seems like endless thoughts, endless self-referential thoughts, or we feel like we're getting lost in our own mind again and again. Before we know it, we're an hour down the mind road, lost in worlds of past and future that don't exist here. We know it, we recognize it, and yet it happens again and again. These can be frustrating moments, to say the least. Frustrating times. So, I just want to let everyone know who's going through all of this that it's okay. There's a silver lining. Things do settle out. And at the same time, everything is fundamentally okay already. It's just that there's a lot of momentum to the mind, a lot of momentum to seeking, a lot of momentum to aversion or avoidance, a lot of momentum to resistance. These patterns are innocent, essentially. You never decided to resist life. You never decided to be averse to all experience or the majority of experience. These are habits that we pick up subliminally from the collective, largely. But they're innocent. There's no one who's guilty of going unconscious. There's no one who's guilty of avoidance. There's no one who's guilty of resistance. This is why suffering itself really is the path. Suffering is the indication that there's something to look closer at. And this is how we pick up the path. We start to look closer and closer at what feels uncomfortable, what feels unclear, what feels dark. We orient to the shadow material. And then we start to question in a really precise way who or what it is that is taking itself to be a person in time, a person apart from a world. We start to question thoughts, question beliefs, question the process of thinking or believing in a direct way. And this leads to insight. With that insight, we open up a lot more space. And within that space, more shadow material is allowed to come forward or come to the surface. This can be daunting, surprising, confusing. But again, the support is there. The support is in the experience. The closer you look at experience, the more you realize you have the capacity to experience right now. It's all you ever have to do, all you're ever called to do, is embrace to the degree you can the experience right now. We don't have to make a big project of acceptance. We don't have to have a strategy all the time. We don't have to have a strategy any of the time, really. We simply have to show up to this moment, this little slice of eternity. Thoughts as they're appearing now. Consciousness as it appears now. Sensation as it appears now. Beliefs as they appear now. Recognize everything for what it is. Look closer. Acknowledge. And it will all become clear. And in time, it will settle. Things will clarify. The dualistic perception will resolve itself. The struggle will end. This won't happen on the time frame that is comfortable for you, or even the time frame that you imagine. It won't happen in the ways that other people describe. It won't happen in the way it's described in the doctrine. Those clues can be helpful. They can point you to an instinctual knowing, an instinctual resonance. But if we use anything we've heard, read, etc., as a hard and fast comparison, it will just add to doubt. So just understand that this is available to you. The fact that you recognize your suffering, the fact that you recognize something feels a bit off, the fact that you recognize there's something to look closer at, to feel more fully into, that is enlightenment. The process is the goal. They aren't two. They can't be separated out. Only the illusion of time makes it appear as if there's something at the end of the road called enlightenment, and there's something along the way called a path. Don't reject the path. Just see that the path is the destination. Because all of it occurs here, now, not in time, not in space. If the words lead you to a feeling of discomfort, contraction, sensation in the chest, gut, throat, that's fine. Go right there, feel it. Have you been avoiding it? Just out of habit. If so, why? What are the beliefs around that? What are the ideas around that contraction, that fundamental contraction, that sensation? Notice those ideas, notice those beliefs, maybe memories, maybe something you overtly learned from someone. Just notice those beliefs, notice those thoughts, fears, conclusions, judgments, and then let the rest. Now feel the contraction, feel the sensation space, just as it is. Not trying to make it soften, not trying to make it relax, just feel it. Just inhabit it, just as it is. This is the way you show yourself that you have the capacity. And the capacity is already here. It's not something you necessarily build. It's something you reclaim, remember, reorient to. The capacity to explore is intrinsic to being conscious. Your capacity to explore all spaces, regardless of the judgments, is your birthright. So notice the judgments, notice the beliefs, notice the fears, notice the narratives of mind that say, don't go here. If you go down here, you'll go crazy. You'll end up in bed depressed for the rest of your life. You'll get nothing done. You'll accomplish nothing. Those are fears. Those are thoughts. They're okay. Just acknowledge them. Sit with them until they settle a bit. And then put your attention into the sensation and see. Does that sensation actually mean that you're going to go crazy? You're going to get lost? You're going to suffer endlessly? No. The sensation doesn't have meaning until we give it meaning through thought. And thought's only a problem when we don't see it clearly. Beliefs are only a problem when they're hidden from us. So there's nothing in here to fear. There's nothing in this process you need to fear. There's nothing in this process you actually need to be ready for. You're already ready. There's nothing in this process you need someone else for either. It can be helpful at times to do relational work. I'm not saying you never venture into that space. I'm just saying the fundamental ability to see clearly, to know your infinite capacity for experience is yours. No one has to give it to you. No one has to teach it to you. And no one can take it away from you. It's right here. Any moment you wish to acknowledge your own capacity to experience, to penetrate all sensations, all emotions, all thoughts and beliefs, penetrate with awareness, with knowingness. It's right here for you. The exploration is rather simple, but We have to get through that barrier of not acknowledging, noticing, and finally letting settle the thoughts and beliefs that keep us habitually avoiding it. Once those settle enough, then it's just a matter of feeling. It's just a matter of exploration. It's just a matter of penetration endlessly into this mystery. This will break the spell of time. This will dissolve the illusion of separation. Just feel. Stay with it. Explore it wherever it takes you. Don't believe the thoughts that say you can't do this, because of course you can do this. There's a premise to everything I say. It's that you can do this. You're awakening. You have the capacity. You don't need me. You don't need a book. You don't need videos. You don't need practices or techniques. Fundamentally, those can be helpful for a while, but those are just to reorient you to the point where you trust yourself again, where you trust the immediacy of experience again. Then it's just a matter of enjoyment. So, it's okay. Whatever you're going through, it's okay. You got this. You have the capacity. You have the heart. You have the awareness. It's all there. And you don't need to understand anything. Just follow your own intuition, wherever it takes you.